going on, you guys? My name is Matt, and I need a loan from you. Not a loan like from your creepy, estranged uncle that shows up from time to time. No, I need a loan of a like. Please like this video before you watch because I need a self-esteem boost. Thank you. Alright, now let's get right into this week's episode. Kicking things off, we have a base set 2 wartortle with that fat bottom miscut. Start that music. Look at this bad boy. Listed for $150, sold for $110. And we got that clean alignment dot in the bottom right corner. Almost a perfect cul-de-sac miscut here, but we have a little sliver on the top. Now on the back, it's consistent with that alignment dot in the bottom left corner. An incredible card. You know I love miscut vintage cards. And average down-error price is $6.50 for a grade 6.5. Meaning this has a 1600% error value increase, but not even close to the top 10, let me tell you. Next up, we have a non-holo Dark Dragonite from Team Rocket set, and this is the no holo error. Now let's take a look at why this error came to be. Right here in the bottom right corner, we have 582. This should be a holo if that was the case, but it's a non-holo, so yeah, or you could think of it as this is a non-holo and it should be 2282. So yeah, this little number adds $230 of value to this card. So this is a raw card listed for $500, sold for $250, and average non-error price, 20 bucks. So that gives us a 1189% EVI, which is good enough for number not top 10. Gotcha. Yeah, card's in pretty good shape. Not the best. I don't know what this would grade at, but yeah, obviously an expensive error, but I don't see this really being a crazy investment. I think this is more of a slap in a binder type card for the condition. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this could get like a 7? I don't know. I'm so bad at grading. But let's go on to the next card. Alright, next up we have a Blastoise EX from Scarlet and Violet 151, and this is a miscut. Shifted over to the right enough where it shows another card on the left here. Just a few millimeters of a card, but quite a bit shifted. And I see an alignment dot in the bottom left, nothing in the top left, and just a sliver of an alignment dot in the top right there. Yeah, awesome card. I love when miscuts occur like this. And spoiler alert, if you saw the thumbnail and just everything else, there is a crazy amount of miscuts this week. So be prepared for that. Now, sale price, $69.99. Average non-error price, $2. So we have a 3,400% error value increase, which is good enough for number 10 this week. So 3,400 is number 10. That is a strong week, let me tell you. Next up, we have a Arctovish V from Evolving Skies, and this is a shifted layer error. Look at this. You can see kind of the background here is shifted down right here. These are fun because the more you look at it, the more you can kind of see where it is all shifted. Looks to be more just on the top, actually, interestingly enough. You see this here, the line here and everything. The outline behind the Pokemon is shifted a little bit too. And not a home run hitter by any means. I think this definitely could have sold for more. These shifts are kind of rare, even on the Pokemon that's not that rare. But yeah, listed for $7, sold for $6. I just wanted to talk about it because someone got a heck of a deal, and it's a cool error. Next up, we have a Skewed energy card that is twisted quite a bit. This is from 2023 and sold in auction for $55. Now let's take a look here. Look at that. So it's like regular Pokemon card. Boop. You twist it, and you get an alignment dot in the top left there. Let me get a better look here. There we go. Alignment dot in the top left, and then here's another card. Here's the border of another card, and then this right here. You see fat, skinny, non-existent, barely there, and then let's go look at the back too. And it's consistently as messed up as the front. We love that. Alignment dot in the top right corner there. Yeah, $55 in auction. That's good. That's really good, honestly. You'll see these miscut energies really can range in value. It kind of depends. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you know what you're doing with how you started the auction, sometimes you do best accepted offer price, you're more patient. A lot of things come into consideration for this. But one thing we do know, average non-error price is, well, it says 50 cents. I say $1. That's kind of usually the floor for what I will say for a card, just because it needs to be shipped too, so it's kind of a level playing field. So that gives us an error value increase of 5,456%, which is good enough for number 3 this week. It's a neat card. I think that one made the thumbnail. Okay, here we have an error that is, I would say, the grail of errors, just of general errors, not specific card errors, but just like something that can happen to a Pokemon card that is very valuable and very sought after. And that is a holo shift. Is that what CGC calls it? They call it a misaligned print layer. But essentially what this is, look at this, the holo portion is shifted in respect to the rest of the card. And so it leaves a little bit of a shadow. You can see behind the foil here, and behind Zapdos here too. These, you'll see them listed on eBay. They'll be sitting there for years. I guarantee you this was sitting here for a long time. And they always do best accepted offer price, which is very smart. But one downside to having a error as rare as this is it'll take a while, because you need a big dog to come by to purchase this with deep pockets. And that happened. Someone purchased it for 3,000 Australian dollars, which is around 1,900 USD, and got graded a CGC 7.5. Let's just flip through this gallery real quick. Take a look. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, and here's the cool part too. You see the foil layer is actually on the art box here and extends a little bit further. So you have like a little bit of a holo bleed too, because the holo from here is shifted down. So cool. There are some that are more severe than this that will probably be listed for a very long time because they're asking a lot, and rightly so. But yeah, cool to see one of these get sold. And average non-error price for a Zapdos is $55 for a grade 7.5. So that gives us a 3,342% error value increase. And that didn't make the top 10. Oh my gosh, I thought that did for some reason. It's incredible the EVI is as high as it is, especially with the higher grade and also just the Pokemon and everything else. So I thought this would be at least I thought it'd be in the top 10. I don't know. But let's go on to the next card. Hey, if you've made it this far, why don't you subscribe too? That would be lovely. Thank you. Next up, we have a Lugia from Neo Genesis, and this is a holo bleed from the one and only Infernos games, listed for $900. Sold for $750. Now let's take a look. CGC 8.5. Now, CGC did not recognize this error. I believe it has to be very, very apparent for them to be able to do that. Yeah, for them to recognize this error on the vintage card, it'd have to be very, very severe. But this is pretty severe. That is incredible. Lugia, one of the grails for its set and just the era. To see that be a holo bleed shining all the way through, especially through the plastic of a case as well, a graded case, that is really impressive. Look at that bad boy. Ooh, yeah, incredible card. Average non-error price is $200. So EVI, not crazy, but $550 of value added to this card because of this holo bleed. Incredible. Next up, we have a basic darkness energy from Scarlet and Violet 007. I should have said that in the right order. This is a miscut. Very messed up miscut. Now let's see what happened. But before we get to that, listed for $500, sold for $80. Now let's take a look. So clearly, a lot of things got messed up here. Just by the jaggedness of the cut here, you can see it really wasn't ripped, but that was like not a clean blade. Just a lot of things got messed up here. So, ooh, alignment dot, but that's clearly not the crazy part here. This card is cut over to the left right there. Yep, corner, 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 corner. Show the bottom. There we go. Rounded. That's what I was looking for. So it's like, here's like kind of the starting to be normal Pokemon card, and then everything else is just really messed up. Very unique card. Would love to see who messed up and how messed up it got for this to come about. Average non-error price? $1.21. I don't think anyone is surprised by that at all. So that gives us a 6,512% error value increase, which is good enough for number 2 this week. Yeah, that's a messed up card, and definitely on the thumbnail. I think I have an idea. I haven't created the thumbnail yet, but it's in my head, and I think I know what's going to happen. Next up, we have a Magikarp from 151, Scarlet and Violet, I believe. And this is the Ink Splash iCarp error. A repeating printer hickey, a repeating printer hickey, a repeating printer hickey, a repeating printer hickey that is on the first part of Magikarp here. This blob will be mainly in the same spot every time for this repeating error, but the contents within it will be different. This one looks like some sort of monster or something. But yeah, the iCarp should mostly be showing always, and sells for usually a decent amount. I'd say I sympathize for this seller here. I think they did it right, listing it for 50 and then hoping, you know, it catches on. Some people bid on it, but only one person bid, so they got 50 bucks. I'd say average price for this is usually 40 to 60, but you can see it go a little bit higher too. So it just depends on the situation. But they got a quick 50 bucks for this bad boy, and it's a lot better than $1.24, let me tell you. That's what you got for the non-error price. That gives us a 3,932% error value increase, which is good enough for number 7 this week. Next up, we have a Shadowless Vulpix. And if you say the error is HP 50, I'm gonna hit you. But I won't, because you can't talk to me, because I'm pre-recording a video. The error here is the weakness symbol here, right here. So this is actually a repeating error with varying degrees of severity, where ink will be missing and misplaced a little bit on this water symbol. I was actually fortunate enough to get one of these for $1. It was awesome. I loved it, and I would say this is definitely probably one of the most severe examples you'll see of this, and this is the exact same as mine. And funny enough, I actually offered $30 for this. The guy said no. I think he had it listed for higher earlier. And then he came back to me saying, hey, do you want this? And I said, nothing. I kind of ghosted him. I'm kind of a jerk. I just didn't respond. But clearly he sold it for 30 to someone else. So someone got this, and yeah, one of the really cool repeating errors that people don't know about, and especially, you know, if you're just listing a whole bunch of cards, it can be one that's kind of fun to find. So Shadowless Vulpix, besides for the blue butt or a couple printer hickeys that can end up on the lower part of the art box here, the weakness water symbol is something to keep an eye out for. Next up, we have a first edition Misdreavus from Neo Revelation. PSA 9, consigned with Z&G Emporium. Sold for $2,500 freaking dollars for a grade 9. Now, I just want to get to this right away. Average non-error price for a first edition Misdreavus non-error is around $200. That shocked me. I don't know. This is probably one of the least expensive holos in this set, but this is a double holo variant we're talking about, and first edition, and grade 9, so it sold for $2,500. And the reason I'm talking about this one specifically, it's a lot of money, it's a cool error, but I just love the effects it has. I know there's like, the white border is missing around Misdreavus here, that's one way to tell it's a double holo, but the eyes, the holo going through the eyes, there's just something about that I absolutely love. It's interesting too that on this card, that kind of proves that the eyes were printed on a different layer than the rest of the Pokemon. I'm not sure why that is. I don't think these are reflective or anything, or, you know, any special properties really, so I'm not sure how the holo kind of gets in between the two layers, but really, really interesting how that comes to be. And this is one I would definitely want. With my shallow pockets at the moment, probably won't be shooting for a first edition, or shooting for this card at all really right now, but in the future I think it'd be fun to have a double holo variant of Misdreavus just because of the eyes. Not really even a fan of the Pokemon, just the eyes. They're dreamy. EVI of around 1200% too, which is really, really high for a double holo variant, let me tell you. I might be the authority on talking about the price for this, with such a niche hobby and such a niche error to talk about. I might be the absolute authority for this, who talks about it on YouTube, who uploads weekly. Who knows? Alright, this is a neat one. This is a base set Dewgong with a little bit of that yellow. Additional ink error. Look at all of that. Boy, it's like a continent or something. That's like a Game of Thrones island or something. CGC 8.5. Additional ink error. Sold for $99 with 1 bid. So really large error that impacts a good portion of the card. Hard to say what this really should go for. Doesn't seem to be a repeating error. I always just kind of operate under the guidelines of the more card impacted, the higher the price should be, but obviously this person chose to sell it in auction, so they were looking to sell it quicker, so it will sell for a little bit less. Either way, let's just appreciate it for the error, and yeah, this error added around $80 of value to the card. Next up, we have a CGC 10 base set Gyarados with the incomplete holo pattern error. Ooh, that's a big dog. $1,385. In auction, this one sold for. Really neat one. So incomplete holo error can also be called the mirror holo error, essentially where a portion of the holo is missing, and so you won't see those little stars there. You'll just see the reflective holo. I do have to say, Gyarados might be the hardest Pokemon card to tell on this, because the holo in this really isn't known to be that shiny and showing off like at all. So difficult to tell, but clearly CGC said yes it is, so I'll believe him, and it looks like it in the photo here. Around $1,400 for this card. Incredible. Now average non-error price for a CGC 10 is around $300, so $1,000 of value added to this card. Now, I'm not saying anyone should do this, but PSA does recognize incomplete holo pattern errors. So, if you think this is PSA 10 worthy, which I don't know if it is or not, hey, you could get even more for this because PSA just yields a higher price typically. Next up, we have a first edition non-holo Snorlax from Jungle Set, CGC 8, with the additional ink error, sold for $95. Someone gave Snorlax the old 1-2 with the Knife-a-Rooney here, and there is a bloody Snorlax. And a little blood flying off there too. Really unique error, so this is a legit factory error, additional ink error, perfectly placed on Snorlax's belly there. Always really cool to see these additional ink errors land on the Pokemon itself. It's one thing if it was like down here, but to have it be up here really is neat. I'd say this is like the money zone, and then this is like the bullseye, is on anywhere on Snorlax. Maybe if it's like covering the eye, that's a little bit better, like the face, and then this is like second best, and then yeah. So really cool, unique error, sold for $95, and not much more to say about it. Just a cool error, never seen it before, and wonder how that came to be. But yeah, cool to see that graded. Next up, we have a Lotad from Evolving Skies, and this is an obstruction error. Now, I was thinking in my head, I was trying to think of something funny I could say where, you know, people call it the OTAD error, where the L is missing, and so I was going to be like, I was going to say a bunch of words with the first letter missing, but apparently I'm not witty enough to do that, so that's okay. So yeah, basic and the L here, obstructed. Really cool error, and I put question mark yes for repeating error. I think it's a repeating error unless just the same card keeps getting sold. But yeah, really neat one. Even kind of changes the color in the art box here a little bit. You see, this is a little bit darker and this is a little bit lighter. I kind of like the lighter side. Obviously, yeah, the photo's a little bit darker too because this looks lighter. But yeah, just compare these two. You can see it definitely is a little bit lighter. And this sold for $50. Where are you finding a basic Lotad selling for $50? Right here, right now. $50. Average non-error price, $1. 4,951% is good enough for number 5 this week. Next up, we have the most miscut energy card of all time, Grass Energy. I don't know if there's a symbolism behind that or what really, but it seems like you see more Grass Energy is miscut than anything else. Are there more Grass Energy cards printed? So maybe it's just like a numbers game? I don't know. This one sold for $45 in auction too. I'm curious, what was that bid in look like? So they started at 15. Price really jumped up towards the end there. Neat. And let's take a look. So we have let's take a look. So we have 2 rounded corners, 2 square corners, a little bit of an alignment dot right there. And obviously shifted enough where you have a really thick silver border here. No border on the left. And what's that back look like? Same. It's always impressive when miscuts like this get a high grade if you get graded with like CGC, because clearly something went horribly wrong for it to be miscut like this. And so you can see a little bit of wear and tear here on the top left and, you know, bottom left area here. So yeah, not to say that takes anything away from the card. It's just it's cool when they do get high grades, because again, clearly something went horribly wrong here. Now, is anyone surprised average non-error price sells for $1? Because I'm not. EVI 4,445%. Good enough for number 6 this week. And I think this bad boy's in the thumbnail too. I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Alright, next up we have a first edition base set Vulpix with the blue dot error. The blue butt error, we got a tramp stamp, whatever you want to call it. This is prevalent on Shadowless Vulpix, regular Shadowless Vulpix, and first edition, with the first edition being notably rarer. So you see that. Grade 9. This might be the highest example we've seen for a first edition. Now, I want to say maybe 30 or 40 standard edition Shadowless Vulpixes with the blue dot error have been sold in the year or so I've been doing this. This might be only like the second or third first edition I've seen, so that proves how much rarer it is. A high grade to boot, and average non-error price for a first edition base set Vulpix in grade 9, $62. So this added around $440 of value to this card. This little additional blue ink, honestly so iconic, because of the contrasting ink, the location of it, the fact that it's a repeating error, everything really adds up to it being a really cool error, and congrats to whoever got this. It's cool too, this grade 9 card sold more than a BGS 10. Didn't beat the black label, but yeah, just cool to see how this stacks up against higher grades and more prestigious grading companies. Next up, we have a Charizard from Pokemon Evolutions with that Holo Bleed. Now, this is one I think CGC will recognize the insufficient ink error, which I believe is what happens to have a Holo Bleed occur like this. But I still think you get more money if you have the PSA version of it. So I think this is the right call. Not that anyone was really debating it, but I was having a debate in my head. Listed for $500 for this grade 8. Sold for $300. And let's take a look. Oh, these evolution Holo Bleeds are so cool just because the severity of them is really insane. Look at all that. Sparkling like the night sky. Yeah, that's a neat one. Average non-error price is around $66 for a grade 8, so we got $240 of value added to this Holo Bleed Charizard. Next up, we have an Alakazam EX from Scarlet and Violet 151, and this is off-scent misprint error. I would call it just a miscut. I like these EX cards that are miscut like this. You got a thicker border on the left, sliver on the right there. Pokemon cards upside down. Yeah, don't know why you'd have that as the next photo, but I don't think that's alignment dot. It could be though. Hard to say. Yeah, neat card. I got gaslit a little bit here. It was listed for $600. I was like, oh boy, this EVI about to go crazy. Because sometimes people just go nuts for miscuts. There's like no rhyme or reason for why it sells for as much as it does. Best accepted offer price was $25. And so EVI still respectable, 1100%. But yeah, I thought we were going to be in like the 5-digit error value increases for this bad boy. That's okay though. Still a stupendous card though. All right, next up we have a base set 2 Charizard. Lovely card. The holo foil on it is hard to beat. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. Now let's use the powers of deduction here. Why is the non-error card the back of a card? Could lead you to think the error is on the back of this card. Yes. This was listed for $600, sold for $300. Now let's take a look. Clearly, nothing on the front. On the back, what do you see? You see right there? Let's see if we have a closer look. There we go. Printer hickey on the back. It's unfortunate this didn't happen on the front because printer hickeys on fire type vintage Pokemon cards are unbeaten. It usually has red in the middle with yellow on the outside, and if you put it in the right place, it can add a lot of value. Like, I'm telling you right now, if the good lord, if this had a printer hickey right here, that red and yellow printer hickey, this would sell for over $1,000, guaranteed. Printer hickey of that size. But This isn't bad. Having a printer hickey on the back of a card, I usually say it doesn't add too much value unless it's a chase card. And so here we have a chase card, and it added around $110 of value. Hard to argue with that. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. If this was just like a Poliwag or something, and it had a dot on the back, it'd be like, yeah, maybe it'll get you an extra $1 or something, but nothing really too crazy. So for this to add that much money is actually kind of impressive. So next up we have a base set water energy card, and this is a Japanese card from 1996. Got created a CGC 7.5, and this is a miscut. This is a reverse cul-de-sac miscut, actually. So we have, yeah, 3 sides showing, and the bottom is missing a little bit. What makes it Japanese miscuts like this really cool, their borders are like a gradient almost, so it really does show night and day. It really shows where this card stops and the next one begins. And so that whole gradient really looks incredible. But also, well, the back obviously too, incredible. These miscuts don't leave the factory too often for Japanese cards. I believe I learned from one of Inferno's Games videos that Japanese cards were actually printed on smaller sheets, and I think that helped with quality control. And so if something ever did get messed up, it was much easier to catch versus where they'd print like 120 cards on a sheet instead of, let's say, like 40 or 50. So it's just like, it seemed like their quality control was severely better. And that is why you don't see this happen too often, and why this water energy sold for $300. Listed for $300, sold for $300, and that it really does show the rarity of this, that it doesn't pop up too often. Now, average non-era price for this bad boy, a 7.5 water energy, $8. $8, nothing special. And that gives us a 3,650% air value increase, which is good enough for number 9 this week. I think I'll put this in the thumbnail too. I don't know if my hypothesis is correct, but I don't like to show slabs on thumbnails, so I'll probably cut this bad boy out and put it on there, but it's still a miscut card. Next up, we have a first edition Ivy Pikachu, PSA 7, sold for $599 in auction. First edition stamp should not be there. Adds a stupid amount of value, not like dumb, but like crazy amount of value. Almost $580 worth of value added to this card. Yeah, incredible. We are fortunate enough to have average error pricing too. You can see it goes to around $512 for a grade 7, so price is up a little bit, but price charting also, when they track these errors, it might have been a couple years since their last one has sold, or at least the one that they've tracked. So yeah, but this bad boy's in the top 10 actually. So $600 for the sale, average non-era price of around $16 gives us 3,672%, which is good enough for number 8 this week. Next up, we have a Litten 25th anniversary jumbo card that is miscut. Now it kind of threw me for a loop. Yeah, this kind of threw me through a Now this threw me for a loop. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. Because this card looks like a regular card. I don't know. I don't have too much experience with jumbo cards, especially if you don't have anything to show the scale of it. It really does throw you off. But yeah, I was kind of proud of myself a little bit. I just saw the front of the card first, and I had guessed that it was misaligned and not miscut because of this stamp here. You can see where the stamp should be, meaning that this layer got shifted in respect to the back of the card. So the back of the card is perfectly centered. This one got shifted down, showing another portion of the card on the top here, and also has, yeah, this is not in the right place. Or this isn't in the right place. Which one's wrong? I don't know. Really neat error though. To see it on the jumbo card, you don't see that too often. You really don't. And that's why it sold for $100. The average non-era price is $3.58. So this EVI right here, you can read it. Not in the top 10, but really unique error. Got that big brain too. Alright, play the music. This is one of the fattest bottoms you'll see in respect to Pokemon cards. Here we have a water energy from 2011, and this is miscut, not misaligned. And yeah, that's a lot of yellow there. Sold for $15.26. I'm not sure why 26, but yeah, that is a messed up card. But I think it could have sold for a lot more. We see what these other energies are selling for. I think this is one of the more unique ones. We got an alignment dot 2, a good reverse cul-de-sac here, and just a fat bottom. I don't know. I think it could have sold for more. The card's in pretty good shape too, actually, with double alignment dots on the back. Oh man. So yeah, neat card. EVI of around 1400%, and I think it could have sold for more. That's just my humble, correct opinion. Next up, we have a Ends Darmanitan, and this is a sealed staff promo card. Pre-release from Scarlet and Violet. Journey Together. Sorry if I messed one of those up, but yeah, this is a cool one. So I thought there was a bunch of cards with the staff error here because why is the staff thing here? I thought it'd be like here or here, you know, like seems like there's more logical places, but this is the correct location for it. Look at this. Wow, it's kind of cool. But yeah, look at this. This is where it is. So it's shifted over enough where it's actually on the border here a little bit, and it's hard. Oh wait, here we go. I was gonna say it might be cut off a little bit, but looks like we got the full letters. Maybe the F is cut off a little bit here, so clearly misaligned a little bit, and helped it sell for $365. Now, average non-error price, I couldn't find concrete pricing for this, but I found another sealed one that sold for $200. So we can safely say that's probably the non-error price is $200 for a sealed staff card like this. So $165 of value added because of this misaligned staff error. Really unique, really cool. Don't see that too often. Next up, we have a PSA 9 base set pack. Got graded. This is the triangle error. A really cool backstory behind this where they were printing these cards. So these are standard cards in here, and they accidentally added the first edition stamp right here. This is where first edition stamp should be. And that happened for like 3 hours and no one caught it. And then they finally caught it. Instead of going and either destroying these packs or doing something else, they decided to add a black triangle over that to basically hide the first edition stamp. So really cool backstory behind that, and helps it sell for quite a bit more too. But yeah, I just love that story that it was like 3 hours where this happened. And so I don't know how many packs are out there of these. They're kind of prevalent, but definitely pretty rare too, I would say. But yeah, grade 9, obviously a high grade too. Yeah, so a cool piece of Pokemon history here. Sold for $710 for this grade 9 pack. I really don't know what criteria goes into grading a pack, but really cool one. An average non-error price is around $500, so we could say a little more than $200 of value added to this card. And this shows how behind the times price charting is. I looked up what pricing would be. We have error pricing for black triangle errors here, and $2,126. The sale was in 2021. So that was the only sale that they've ever registered. Clearly, I believe there have been more grade 9 triangle errors sold since then, but they just like stopped tracking them or something happens. I need to have a word with them because this is getting out of hand. But yeah, so clearly the market was a lot higher back then for these errors, or someone bought it for a lot more back then. So kind of interesting, but yeah, I wish they would update their error pricing for a lot of these different cards. Alright, next up we have an Ancient Mew promo card, and this is a crazy miscut. CGC 8.5, and this isn't a standard sheet that this is cut from. Clearly, they did so many different things to make this card happen, and to show some of the behind the scenes and what it looks like really is incredible. So this one sold, as I said, Fanatics Collect, in auction for $4,080. We had 37 bids, and look at that. Wow. So we have some like black triangles here. Just a hollow portion here. So that is clearly what the part that you're not supposed to see looks like. And on these Ancient Mews, we have alignment pluses right here. Just right there. What's that back look like? So the back is a little bit more normal. I'm not sure what these symbols really are, but yeah, 2 alignment pluses here too. And yeah, it shows how crazy this card is for selling for $4,080. Now, average non-error price for a grade 8.5 is around $75. That gives us a 5,340% area value increase, which is good enough for number 4 this week. So yeah, I saw this and I knew I had to talk about it because just how unique and crazy that is. Seriously, again, this Ancient Mew is such a cool and special card, and to see it be this messed up really is fun. And speaking of messed up, here we have the final card this week. So this is a Topps Pokemon card. So we have a Nidoking and a Golduck. Crazily miscut. Look at that. We have about 60% of Golduck and 40% of Nidoking. So I chose Golduck to use for the information, pricing, and everything. And boy, look at that. I always say Topps miscuts don't get the love that they deserve. And this one's number 1, which is a good start. But you think if there was like a standard Pokemon card, a vintage card that got this miscut, it'd sell for a lot more. But I'm not going to complain because this bad boy is number 1. So we can see even it's the same consistency here on the back where we have Golduck about 60% and Nidoking about 40%. And wow, that's not much more to say about this bad boy, really. It's cool too. Golduck is cut off proportionally the amount where Nidoking is showing. You know, I think you could like take these two and you could put Nidoking on Golduck's legs. Yeah, I don't know. I keep saying there's not much more to talk about it, and I just keep talking. Average non-era price, $2. And so this $150 sale gave us a 7,438% area value increase, which is good enough for number 1 this week. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been hustling and grinding, and I'm tired. Please, let me know what card was your favorite, or just show some love in the comments. Yeah, I'm tired. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all later. Goodbye.